hi everybody, and I'm Emily Jiang from IBM. I'm a Java champion. I'm a Liberty Cloud native architect and a chief advocate for Liberty. And in today's talk, I don't have any slide. I'm going to do a live coding about configure your cloud native applications using MicroProfile Config. So to give you a quick background about this kind of the session is probably you have heard of the 12-factor app. In 12-factor app, the 12-factor, the third factor is about externalize your configuration. So basically in this demo, I'm going to demonstrate how can you read the configuration from different places. And then I will deploy the application to Kubernetes. You can see how can you use deployment YAML file to directly configure your application. In this way, you don't even need to repackage your application, redeploy it. So you can see the changes straight away. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen now. So you can see my IDE, which is VS Code. So it's in VS Code we have the I have MicroProfile extension pack installed. So it's basically I can use the. Do we need to start? Okay, oh that's better. So it's you can see the. Let me start the extension pack. So it's this is group ID. I leave it at that. So the artifact ID, I use live coding. So this is a MicroProfile version. So if you have not heard of MicroProfile, go to microprofile.io, so you can see everything about it. So MicroProfile is an open source community. Is develop cloud native APIs for your application, so you can use it, and there's many about dozen implementations for you to choose from. So there's many releases in MicroProfile. So only recently we released 4.1. In these plugins, kind of that we need to wait for the implementation catch up. So this plugin still says 4.0. So that's fine. It's, in the 4.1 and 4.0, it's the configure MicroProfile config has the same version. That's fine. I use that. So you can see the MicroProfile 4.0 has 3 application servers supported. So let me choose the OpenLiberty. So OpenLiberty support the Java, different Java versions. Let me choose 11, and then I use Maven. I want to just create the blank the application. So generate into this folder. Add it to current workspace. So as you can see here is directly create JAX one JAX application. The other one is the one endpoint. Say hello. Let me start. Let me go to ID. So I can, because it's on the running on the OpenLiberty, so I can start using the OpenLiberty plugin. I can directly use the dev mode. So I can start this application, and also doing all the coding, and then you can see the changes straight away. So it's while it's building, actually is my first job I want to do is I want directly this is the hello world. Actually, I want to display. For example, this is the supermarket website. I want to display some discount. For example, now is the autumn, and there's a maybe there's some good offers for ice cream. I love ice cream. My children love ice cream. So I will say today's discount for ice creams is, so I can see, okay, what's the discount? Maybe it's kind of do a discount, and then it's a percentage, like that. However, I don't want to hard code a discount. I want to inject the discount. I can say I use the MicroProfile Config to basically specify discount somewhere else. I will say discount. Here's a look up the discount is an int discount, and import this one, and then I can like and save it. So you see is this is beauty of the level dev mode. So it tell me actually is the property discount is not defined. In MicroProfile Config, you can you can define the configure properties in the environment variable system property, or the other one is in the MicroProfile -config properties. So here I can do a discount. Maybe I do a 20% discount. Now it's happy. Now it's quite happy. And wherever the path, actually, I want to change here instead of saying hello, I say config. Okay, so it's I know it's on the localhost 9080 because I use the MicroProfile I use the MicroProfile is automatically give me the all the open API support. So it's I have actually I don't need to even remember my endpoint. I can go to the because it's I'm on the Open Liberty. So Open Liberty have the Open API UI. So I know here is you have I have an endpoint /data/config. I can even try it out, execute. So it's, it will directly tell me the discount. However, like if the other quick way to do it, so I can, so here, one thing is I can see the response here. The other way, what I can see is the other way, what I can see is I can open another IDE. I can do a call. So it says today's discount is 20%. That's exactly right. So here I said 20%. As you know, it's like we are doing we're using CI/CD mainly for the cloud native application development. We have a different phase, and sometimes we are in the dev, in test, and in the prod. So it's in MicroProfile Config, we also support this kind of the scenario. So we call it a MicroProfile the config profile. So it's we use a name convention is this percentage, and then the profile, and then the kind of the property name. So if I say in the dev is 10%, and then I can say maybe the test, I will say actually is 50%. And then actually in the production, maybe it's the kind of the 70%. So and then I can there's another property is said MicroProfile mp.config.profile. So I can say actually at the moment I'm on dev. So you can save that. Let's say, so if we say it's in dev, so this one will be used. So that 10% will be used. Similarly, if you are in the prod, the 70% will be in use. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's true, it's 10%. So here, if I choose prod, if I save that, so we expect here we'll see 70%. That's all good. So this is kind of the one of the feature you might find is very useful. So the other thing I want to mention is when we define this property, I mean, some properties might describe but one thing. For example, if I have a customer dot first name equals, for example, Bob, and the customer dot last name equals, for example, the builder, Bob the builder, right? And then I can say actually is in MicroProfile Config, and then you can, when you define a property, you can use reference other property. You can say actually the name is the first name and then last name. You can do this. So here, the MicroProfile Config automatically will assign Bob the builder to the customer name. Also, you say, okay, the age maybe is 20, the Bob the builder. And also we say, okay, what's the nationality? I don't know where the Bob the builder from. Let's say it's from UK. So actually, I really want to get these properties connected together and represented as an object. So for that, we also have this kind of support. So I can directly say, I can say customer details, like that. And then in here, I say, okay, this is customer. I have this is more like the detail. So it's basically I say, okay, the name and also int, also is the age and also the nationality. So I have this. However, I want got all the kind of the value being injected in MicroProfile Config, and we have the support is called config properties, and then I want this one directly like the customer.name injected into this field, customer.age injected this, customer.nationality injected to this. So with the, I can say prefix, so customer. For this support is only support on the CDI bin. So I can say dependent scoped. So with this, you will get instance and all this field will be injected. Now is in my JAVAPRO application. In the JAVAPRO resources, I can directly inject that the object into these JAVAPRO resources. So I can directly say actually let's inject at config properties. I can see customer details, customer. Yeah. Also, I want to actually instead of here just saying hello, I want to create another endpoint. I want to say display customer. So here is a get operation, and also obviously I need another path, and then I will say slash customer. So it's in here actually I want to return object. I can say customer details instead. In here I can directly return a customer. So because this is a written object, so you can directly use the kind of the produce basically is application JSON. So you can see media type dot application JSON. So it's so basically this is another get operation. And this is the path and the get to the customer, and then it's return this customer. Let's save that. Let's go back here. And then let's go back to the console again. And then what I really want to show you is, so basically, so you have a two endpoint. The other one is data config customer. So it's, so again, let me go back into my IDE. Actually, I can easily to do this. So in here, so that you see the config and then customer. So you can see this is JSON. So it's age, name, and etc. Let's make it more visible from the browser. You can alternatively, you can do this. So you can see this JSON. Bob the builder is name, nationality, age, and etc. The other thing is, for example, this shop. I mean, your business grows, and you have more customer. And then is like external is called a customer. Maybe is you call it kind of, you have a second customer. Is you call it a client, for example. Client. So this is another client. Client. So this time maybe the second client is the Spider-Man. Spider-Man might be 200 years. It's from USA. So this is a kind of more configure, but is actually is use exactly same structure. So also you want to use this structure. So it's directly kind of assigned to this object. So it's how can you also look up the client.name, client.age, and client.nationality, also create another object customers. So that's very easy. So instead of here, you do like similar as this one. Let me copy this. Obviously, the prefix and no longer customer is prefix is the prefix is a client. Prefix is a client. So here you will see client. So in this way, it will like directly look up client.name, client.age, client.nationality, and then create object and assign to here to the client. So here I can say actually I get a list customer details. Customers equals new list. Import list. Import array list. So and then I can just do a customers dot at customer and also customers dot at client. And then here I can return a customer. So obviously here you can return a collection. Put that. Let's go back here. So it's in here. Let's have a look. Like I expect have two things. So one is Bob the builder, the other one is Spider-Man. So here you are, you got that. So it's let's make is more visible here. Make it bigger. So you can see Bob the builder and then Spider-Man. So it's that's kind of the how to like aggregate like related configure properties into an object. And then you might thinking, okay, I have been talking about the externalize your configuration. So sometimes you really like your configuration is not inside your application, it's outside your application. For that, actually, is I have like the configure properties like defined in my machine. So basically, it's so in this way, so it's basically is in my laptop, is in the customer name, and also the in the customer config source, and then you define the config order node. So this is kind of demonstrate identify the priority. So for this one, MicroProfile config properties, the order node is 100. So this one I say is 700. So basically, it's if the same property appear in the different configure source, the value will be taken from the higher like configure ordinal like this configure source. So in this one, I want to with this like Harry Potter and then and from UK and etc. want to overwrite the value in the MicroProfile config properties. So how can I do that? So basically, is how can I make this external config source available to my application? So this is quite easy. So basically, I just need to create a new config source. So I just say my config source. So in this config source, you implement config source. So from MicroProfile config, and then obviously we'll like implement all the method. So in order to save time, let me directly copy the implementation here. So basically, what it does is have the implement a config source, and then where is my config source, and basically the major thing is you read the JSON file and then you pass it, and then you populate all the property into a map, and then is kind of when you code get value, and then you directly get the value. And also is when you say get property names, you directly get it from the map. So this is one thing. The second thing is how can I load this config? How can I make this config source known in my application? So it's in this one. So it's basically use a service loader directly specify it. So you do a meta-inf services, so fully qualified like a class name for the config source, SPI. And in this file is you just say fully qualified class name for the my config source. So that's kind of the all is needed for this like external config source configuration. Let's directly stop this one. So I can, this is all saved, and then I can start this. So make it so when I restart, is make it pick up all the kind of configuration, just in case. So it's when this start, so it's already started. So it's I say it's read this config value and etc. If I directly call that, so you can see the instead of Bob the Builder, you can see the Harry Potter. Again, make it, you can see previously you do a Bob the Builder and then UK and then age and then Spider-Man. So here, and I use the external config source, and then because it has ordinal 700, overwrite all this. So it's become the Harry Potter. Let me see here, it become a Harry Potter. So it's, this is kind of the same thing if you use like some other database or some other like JSON file or even Zookeeper or any config, any like resources you want to make the property available to your application, you use a similar pattern to do so. So this is for the structured config source and also how to like create a custom config source. The other thing is kind of the, after you have done your development and etc. And sometimes you might define one configure property in multiple different places. And then you might be wondering which configure source supply this value. And for sometimes you might want to overwrite that value and you need to go to the right configure source to do so. So in that, we also have the support. So in here, instead of, for example, this discount, instead of I inject become an int, I can say actually I inject a configure value. Configure value is directly from the MicroProfile Config. So here, in here, I can say, yeah, I can say the get value, the same. And then I can say from the configure source, so I can find out where this discount is from. So I can say discount get like a source name. So if I save that this one, so let me go here. So you can see here it said ice cream is 70% from the configure source is inside my application mapping for like a MicroProfile config properties. So this is the kind of the, you know, which configure source supply this value, and then if you want to overwrite it or want to change it, and you can go to that place to change it. And also you can list the ordinal, and then if you want to override it, and then you can define the configure source with a higher ordinal, and then you can override it. So for that, for example, let me see, you can also list the ordinal here, and then you can add the ordinal. It's ordinal, and then you can just add in. So discount cv.get source ordinal. We'll save this one. We go back here. So you can see the ordinal is 100. In this case, if you cannot, you want to overwrite it, maybe you can define 101, can overwrite this one. Define a configure source with the ordinal 101, will be able to overwrite the discount. So this is kind of the for the application development. And then you earlier I mentioned that actually is you're really interested like the cloud native demonstration. basically you want to create this application and then deploy to Kubernetes. And then you can change maybe the config value in the deployment YAML file and to see whether you can get the changes straight away. Because Kubernetes offer config map, offer secret, and also you could even plug in some other sources and etc. The secret provider and etc. So it's let me directly demonstrate that aspect. Yes.
We have a question in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Emily, previously I saw some discussions about config live reload. Can you please clarify this point?
Config live reload. Yeah, that's a good question. So in MicroProfile Config, we have the capability basically is be able to retrieve the updated value. If you use the CDI, for example, here, and after you have injected, and by the time it's injected, it will be a constant. So in order to retrieve the updated value, you can inject config. So it's a config, and then you do a config.get value. You always get the up-to-date value. Or you can inject a provider. So here you can say provider, a bracket customer details, and then you also get up-to-date the value. So so that's the kind of the aspect of the live reload. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's answered.
Okay, thank you. Are there any more questions?
That's currently all.
Okay, thank you. Let me stop this one, and then I can do a build this one, maybe verify. And then is after it's been packaged, and then is I can do the create the Docker image. So I have prepared Dockerfile and the deployment YAML file. Let me copy here. So this is Dockerfile. So it's let me directly do Docker build. Docker build -t lab code -service, and I give it version 1.0. Docker build, Okay, it's a building. So basically, this is from the base image, Open Liberty, Java 11. So we're on Java 11. And then I use the OpenG9, the JVM. And then you copy the configuration file, and then you copy the bootstrap from the Liberty, and then you copy the WAR file. This is about the optimization for your Docker image. So this stage will take longer because it does a lot of optimization for you, so that your Docker image will start quicker. So the other thing is we have the Docker image. The other thing is the deployment YAML file. So basically in this deployment YAML file, and I have two parts. One is the deployment part. So the deployment part has a live coding deployment, and this is very important. So this, as you see earlier here, I said is lab code -services. So basically this is your Docker image. And then this is the container port, so that inside the Docker. The other thing is you remember, in here, we do a MicroProfile Config profile is a dot is a prod, and then in the YAML file, actually this is the map to the environment. As the environment variable name is only allow the numeric and also alphabet and also underscore. So it's all the like all the illegal characters will automatically use underscore to like replace them. So this is another feature in MicroProfile Config. So when you search a property and when you search environmental variables, and it also convert illegal characters to underscore. So I can see here, like inside of my application, I said prod, actually in here, I said dev. And then because environment variable has a higher config ordinal, it will overwrite the MicroProfile-config properties. And also is here is the discount. Actually, I could just say underscore dev. So percentage dev dot is become underscore dev underscore discount. Maybe here I say 88. Let me save this one. So this is for the deployment of like a portion. The other portion is the service. So the service is the live code service. So I want is kind of the type in node port. So external it will be visible externally. So it's a node port is 381. So we could do a localhost 381 to invoke it. So let's with that being said, let's directly do a just in case I will delete the previous running one, and then is apply code. I can see the get ports. Can see is running already. So let's see. Cube control get services. So you can see here is like this live code services is on the 381. So let's go. So it's no longer 9080. It's a map to the 381. So let's go in here instead of 9080. Here is the 381. See, you can see here is 88. So that's directly from the YAML, from the deployment YAML file. And then the where is it from? It's from the environment variable. So in config source, the ordinal is 300. So that's for sure because the MicroProfile-config.properties, the ordinal is 100. So that's why it's the discount is 88 being used. So in order to let me demonstrate once more here, and here if you want to change the value here, if I say okay, it's no longer a dev, I want a prod. So it's in this case, this one will not be not used because if it's here is a prod, you will get a percentage prod dot like a discount will be used. Let me demonstrate that. Let me I save this one, and then basically you need to apply it again. So it's set config. So it's here I expect the here the prod will be a 70%. Let's see. See, you can get see is 7%, and the where the value is from is directly is from my like inside the Docker image is the MicroProfile-config.properties. So I think yeah, you get the idea and how you externalize your configuration without repackaging your configuration, and then also utilize the kind of Kubernetes or this kind of config map, and also the environment mapping, and also the secret and etc. Kubernetes or the configure secret. So with that, I think I have finished this demo. If you want to know more information about MicroProfile Config, you can log on to the microprofile.io. You can join that conversation to like contribute any ideas, and also all the code for the MicroProfile Config is in the GitHub repo. So in here. So it's at the moment, like in the MicroProfile Config, we are trying to align with Jakarta EE 9.1. The other thing is if you also want to get some tutorials learn about MicroProfile Config, and the other good place to go is OpenLiberty. OpenLiberty IO, and you go to OpenLiberty. So here is all the docs, and then that's all the docs, and also the guide. So guide we have, if you're interested in any MicroProfile technologies, you can just go in there. And if you want to do the config, so we have the MicroProfile Config tutorials. So only take about 25 minutes or half an hour for you to get started. So this will separate config from code in microservices. Again, is one final thing I would like to say is recently I co-authored a book is called Practical Cloud Native Java Application Development with MicroProfile. So it has very practical tips and how to create a cloud native applications using MicroProfile. So it's available on Amazon. So it's a short URL. If you're IBM based MicroProfile book, you can see it's only out recently. It uses the latest MicroProfile release. With that, it's end of my demo, and I finished on time. Are there any questions? Let me stop share on my screen so that you can see me. Thank you, Michael. Are there any questions? Okay, I think probably is quite straightforward. So the aim for MicroProfile, the specifications that they need to be very simple to use. So it doesn't need a PhD to use it. Thank you very much for coming, and hope to see you in the upcoming conferences. By the way, I have another session on Thursday, so I will talk about the MicroProfile 4.x. So that will be a 4.0 and 4.01. So it's stay tuned. Bye.